Hey, welcome to the first ever episode of Nerdist Book Club, the bigger, better, aka freer version of Alpha Book Club. I'm Nerdist Editor-in-Chief Rachel Hine, and joining me as always are my lovely co-hosts, Geek Bomb's Maud Garrett.
Hello, so great to be back.
And DC Daily's Hector Navarro.
I'm drinking wine. It's wine time.
It's wine time. It's book club time. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited to be back. How are you doing?
I've missed this as every single week when we tuned in. If you are from Alpha Days, hey, so glad that you're back as well. But you heard us say how much this was the best time of our week. We would feel better in this community. It was so great talking about books. It was giving us life and enriching us from the soul deep outwards. So I'm just so glad we can do this again. And I am glad for people that are having a 2.0 with us as well.
Yeah, and now more than ever, man. First of all, I miss you clearly as people, and I miss doing the show. But now more than ever, this is going to be a highlight of our week. I feel like, for me at least, I can say that I can't wait to get to talk about a book with y'all and the internet. It's going to be great. And drink wine.
I know. We used to sort of say that it used to be a weekly therapy session almost, because we would. And not to, for new people, not to say that it's not fun. We get very weird, but really just, during Alpha Book Club, which for those who were not a part of that a few years ago, we did a book club show much like this. It's an online book show where we pick a different book each month and we discuss it each week with you guys. You get to chat with us live. And now we have the VOD version on YouTube. But we did so many books over year and a half, 2 years, including the Harry Potter series, which Maud and I read as kids many times and adults.
Oh yeah.
And Hector had seen all the movies but never read the books. But Maud, I know you can speak to this, reading those books as an adult again through the lens of having these conversations in a book club opened up a whole new way for me to identify with certain characters or look back on them. So it's the highlight of my week. And now we're all home all the time.
Yeah, I think with that, there was a win-win, whether we were tackling books that, were huge parts of our childhood and being able to unpack that, again, having like an adult lens, like we were saying, where it was like, when I first read it, I felt one thing. As an adult, having an intellectual conversation about it, I was really able to learn and dissect a whole lot more from it. But at the same time, I'm very, very insular with my what I read. And with with book club, when we were able to geek out about different types of genres, I loved exploring, Rach, your favorite genre, which was like more detectives and noir and almost a bit witchy. Hector, we read Star Wars, we read all these sorts of entrenched comics, and like hearing and learning about you guys and how you take in literature is amazing as well, because Hector sees it being a director in the director's chair. Rachel sees it honestly without any kind of picture in her mind.
Yeah.
And I am a part of the story. Like, I'm so immersed in it. That was so rewarding as well, and different perspectives.
Absolutely. Shout out in the chat. We have Darbu, Java Book, Geek Girl, M. Bondi, Game Wizard, Noxgun, Rachel Beaver. Welcome, you guys. We're so excited that you're back. Again, for those who are just joining us for the first time, Nerdist Book Club is an online book club. Nerdist is made up of so many different types of nerds. Much like we are together. And so this book club is really for all of us to come together and talk about these different things that we read. And like Maud said, we all come from a very different perspective. I know that Hector comes from the world of film and comics, and we would get into little tips about whether or not you should watch the movie first or read the book first.
Watch the movie first.
And Maud, you got me to finally open up into more fantasy reading, which has always been difficult for me, because shout out to everyone who is realizing now that they also don't picture things in their head. It's called aphantasia. It's a real thing, and it's weird. But high fantasy always used to be so difficult for me because there were so many sort of descriptions of mountains and so many names that kind of sounded the same that I would get a little lost. Also, quick update for those who are in the previous club. I'm now an audiobook convert. I haven't read a physical book in probably over a year. And Maud told me, Maud, you were right. Maud Garrett, you were right. Cheers.
Amazing.
Awesome.
It's a game changer. And like, honestly, we had big wars where it was like, are you still reading if you're listening to a book, or are you just being read to? That's a really great conversation I love to have, and we can explore that more in this episode today. But I'm such a multitasker, and I love being able to do two things at once. So Audible for me was fantastic. I remember hearing a first audiobook and I was like, this is so awful. This isn't how I read it at all. This isn't how I would sound reading it. I have all control like lost, because it's someone's version that they're presenting to me. But I've had a lot of good and bad experiences with this, obviously more good than bad. That's why I'm still doing it. But I love that you're in Audible and you listen to books now, and how great it is. Yay.
Yeah. Speaking of, we are choosing a book for the rest of this month. So if you are watching and you haven't voted yet, I don't think you can vote twice. Go to Twitter right now, the Nerdist Twitter account. We are trying to make this easy on you. So all of these books are pretty readily accessible online. So either in the public domain, on Kindle Unlimited. I will praise the library and all of its resources till the end of days. There's so many easy ways to get ebooks and audiobooks from. All you need is a library card number. So these are the books that we are voting on. Number 1, Frankenstein or The Modern Prometheus. Have you guys ever read Frankenstein?
I haven't. And honestly, when we were, this first came out, obviously, like, I'm representative of a fantasy book, but when you were talking about this particular book and how it was written by an 18-year-old back in 1820, an 18-year-old woman, I was like, I'm interested now. Like, I almost want to change my own vote, because this to me sounds really fun. And I really do want to get out of my familiar bubble.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's, I just think Mary Shelley is such a badass. She was inspired by a contest between her and her lover, then husband, Percy Shelley, and Lord Byron, just two casual, very famous authors, of who could come up with the best horror story. And she published it anonymously at first. It's a gothic romance novel about a scientist. I mean, you know the story, but you actually don't know the story. All of the adaptations, I think, are so different from what the sort of like romantic love language that's in this horror story, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
The chat's going off, by the way. A lot of familiar people from ABC, like reading Dodo Kiwi's back in there. But Dan Casey, Nerdist's very own, is in there weighing in on the Audible discussion, saying it is basically contingent on the narrator, which I completely agree with. He also said further along that Alien is basically such an underrated, Prometheus was an underrated prequel in the Alien canon. That guy can't stop nerding out.
What does that have anything to do with books, Dan Casey?
Because this was the modern Prometheus.
Oh, yeah, I see.
That's fair. I really liked it it's one of those movies where if you think about it too much, things fall apart, I think. But I think visually, I was really bummed that they didn't explore what I thought was the most interesting part of that. But we're not going to get on a tangent quite yet, but I could talk about that movie.
Another great comment from the chat. Dan Gregson says, read the book first. Ha. General Grievous says, movie first. And our and our friend Aaron Vale said, I voted for Frankenstein even though I read it in high school. Frankenstein's a solid pick. When I was a kid, when I was young, I read it. It came with a little illustrated edition, which just sucked me right in, because it is the first ever science fiction. She creates a genre, and it would be really cool to read today. But don't wait. But wait until you hear all the options. Don't vote yet if you're still on the fence. Tell us about the other book we could vote for, Maude.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it's my choice that I have put forward.
Man, if you take a Princess of Mars right now, I will give you props. That would be amazing.
The Hobbit!
There it is.
Yay, let's go back into the Shire and start where it all began, everybody. Obviously, this is one of the few properties where I have only seen it and not read it. I tried to read Lord of the Rings when I left high school, because obviously in high school, it is mandatory reading, and you have to read Macbeth, and you have to do an expose on it. And reading for me became arduous and just really awful. And I didn't love reading. So I tried to learn to love to read. And so, of course, I picked up, Lord of the Rings thinking it's so great.
Super accessible series.
The first 3 pages in, I was like, alrighty, well, that was really hard. I don't know if I want to do it. It was just such a flourished writing.
Did you start with The Hobbit or Fellowship of the Ring?
Fellowship of the Ring. Fellowship.
I've never been able to get through them. But I loved The Hobbit. I read that one growing up, and then my dad got me the other books, and I never ended up getting through them. Man. I think that one, because it's a standalone story, a capsule story, it works a little bit better, but most importantly, the animated movie. It was one of my favorite things in the whole world. Have you seen it, Maud?
No, is this like when they did the Ewoks animated cartoons that I got obsessed with when I was a kid, and they were like, Ichiwawa?
No.
Yes, it's exactly the same.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the same. No, it's Rankin and Bass who did the stop motion Christmas, like Frosty the Snowman. Oh, yeah. But then they also did animation in the 70s. They did The Last Unicorn. Can you see it? The Last. And they did an animated version of The Hobbit that is like, it's exactly what the Hobbit live action movie should have been in terms of length and story. But
another great chat comment here. Eric Lawrence says, reading Frankenstein may lead you to Shelley's other major work, The Lost Man, which is appropriately apocalyptic. Ooh,
Shelley it sounds like she's almost like the Mozart of fiction writing. Like she's 18, just busting these out.
A teenage girl who was like shamed out of her family, married her dad's like colleague.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a conversation.
1800s. But a teenage girl basically invented science fiction. Like that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And I also think just in terms of Frankenstein, it's kind of I'm interested to see if I still feel the same way, because when I read it, I just felt so sorry for the monster. And like, I feel like that's also the like root of all of these romantic books where you fall in love with the monster, even though it's not like, it's part
Beauty
of it.
and the Beast?
Yeah, dude, it's a Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein's a better Twilight than Twilight. It
doesn't have any mile. It doesn't have any messaging about what to do as a young lady, so I would agree with that.
I was about to read your mind over that, because that's what vampire novel's all about, just a random mind reader.
Another great comment from the chat. Fulano de Tal says, I got a free copy of The Hobbit when I purchased my first tablet. Loved it. I loved it. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Chat's going off, guys.
I know. I love it.
Off.
Yay!
Could we real quickly, can I go over the last potential option, and then we can move on to other stuff? Here we go. Here's the other next.
Where's your cell? This elevator pitch has been in the prime drawer.
John Carter.
Are we allowed to sing now?
I don't know if we have the rights to that. That is Edgar Rice Burroughs. Edgar Rice Burroughs also. Yeah, we're getting a. Don't do that.
Hector, you are pitch perfect.
Thank you. Burroughs also created Tarzan, and A Princess of Mars was first serialized in All Story magazine in the year 1912, the year that the Titanic sunk. And a movie that Disney made came out 100 years after. And this series of books and novels, it was pulp, sort of like cliffhanger. There'd be a little chapter. So at the end of each chapter, it'd be like, will our hero be able to? It's that kind of feeling. And it's a series, science fiction, that is something that went on to inspire Superman. It went on to inspire Avatar, Star Wars, Buck Rogers, so many different science fiction things. And it's public domain, so it's available as an ebook via Project Gutenberg and other sites that digitize public domain works, which is pretty cool. And I think that it's really fun to read and to go back again. It's sort of like Frankenstein. It's sort of like elements of The Hobbit as well. These are all great, like you're in class learning about the origins of our favorite genres. But at the same time, the thing I always do when I read an older book like this is I do try to imagine what would it be like if this were adapted to a modern audience? If you try to pitch this to a modern audience, what would it look like? What would be changed? Would story elements be changed? Are there things in this that are outdated? Are there things in this that don't work anymore? We read something, we go, oh, that wouldn't really fly today. So I always kind of just do that exercise anyway, to try to movify something. And thankfully with these three, like Hobbit has movies, people don't like them. The animated one is great. And John Carter has a movie and some other stuff. And
it bombed,
yeah, it did. And and Frankenstein has had so many different adaptations. And I think Frankenstein, to me, so far has been the one where I'm like, I don't think I've seen one as close to the source material. To me, that's the furthest away, because we're so used to we're so used to pop culture Frankenstein being like,
it's alive.
But
alive!
in the story, the monster, the creature, he is like eloquent and smart. And so it's first time I read it as a kid, I was like,
whoa, anti-hero almost. Yeah.
So interesting. But yeah, John Carter's fun and pulpy, and I would love to be able to someday read it with you two, to be able to talk about the differences between like that movie that bombed and the story choices they made versus the original source material. That would be fun.
We've got some chat questions. Oh, yeah. I wanted everyone, if you have the book, to hold it up, because she was saying, Rachel Beaver, which I believe is Bucky, says, oh, that looks like a thick book. Okay, yeah. How many pages are we talking for you there, Hector? How many pages is your book?
This is only thick because this is 3 books in one.
Oh.
This is, don't worry. This is A Princess of Mars, The Gods of Mars, The Warlord of Mars. 3 books in one. That's all. Don't worry.
That's 300. Mine's 300. But it took me so long to realize that with Rachel's, which was in the 1820s or so, yours is in the 1920s. This one was 1937. And mine is the youngest book at 1937 in a publication. I think that is fantastic, that we are really delving to, yeah, you're right, where it all began. These are the genre starters. This is the one that pioneered where it all began.
How worn this baby is.
Wow. How many pages is that one?
This one is, sorry, it smells really good. It smells
like a new book.
No, it's old.
No, mine's new.
Yeah. This one is
220. Rachel says, I love me a thick book. Using the double C.
For the first part, it's 249 for A Princess of Mars. But again, the spacing is real spaced out here. It's
all right, so mine's the thickest.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is a Barnes and Noble Classics. Looks like it has a wine stain on it. Perfect.
I love that.
But it smells amazing.
Adam Murray is in the chat, who just said, clear eyes, red Mars, can't lose. And I appreciated it so much.
Come on, let's do this. Taylor Kitsch.
Right?
Friday Night Lights.
Candace S. also says, I already voted for Frankenstein, but I would vote for Princess of Mars now.
Oh, very nice. It's okay.
I mean, I originally obviously am advocating The Hobbit, but I would vote for Frankenstein now as well. Sorry, Hector, I know that you want me to read it, but you said it's got so much racism in it that it's just like.
I mean, I didn't say so much. I said there's a good amount. Hey, listen, I bet you will be able to find racism and sexism in all 3 of these books.
What do you think the Uruk-hais are? Guys, let's break down the racism of The Hobbit. Are you kidding me? Uruk-hais?
A lot. There's a lot.
That's like, they literally hate the entire race. Mind you, have you ever met a good orc or a good Uruk-hai? They are like inherently evil.
Warcraft. Duh.
Horde.
There's good orcs there. Yeah, exactly.
Are there?
And then they died. That movie was confusing.
Which one, Warcraft?
Yeah.
I got to go to the set. That was my first set visit for Nerdist, and it was one of the coolest experiences ever. I got to hold a giant axe, hammer, doom hammer?
Probably axe hammer is what it is. Yeah.
Great axe.
Great comment from Dan Casey. If you want more great pulp, check out Kenneth Robeson's Doc Savage novels. You'll tear through them. That's another great classic pulp era hero, Doc Savage. Yeah, I like to learn about all the origins of that stuff. And it's probably because I do love modern superheroes so much, is that as soon as I learned what they were inspired by, I was like, ooh, let me get into that. It's cool.
Guys, I got a wife material in the comments because I said for the Horde. It's that easy. Book club, guys. Woohoo.
It's our people.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about this too, is we're going to be reading so many different genres and types of books. I already said all the Harry Potter books, but we read the Gunslinger.
I've got them all behind me if we want to go through them.
Yeah, I like forget how many that we read. Sorry, my cat's staring at me from the corner.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide was really fun. Let's see, should we vote?
Martian Chronicles. Most of that? Some of that? All of that?
No, we did all of it, I think.
Okay.
No, just some.
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride, which is the only one we can all agree is
the movie's better.
Movies, yeah.
Not even Jurassic Park. You guys wouldn't even agree that Jurassic Park, the movie's better?
Oh, yeah, movie's better. Movie's better. Yes, movie's better.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, Princess Bride, and The Notebook are the three movies that are better. Oh my God. Nicholas Sparks, The Notebook. I wish I'd ripped it up and ate it page by page. Oh.
I know. Are we gonna throw books at home?
Oh, this is just a shout out, by the way, because he is in the comments. But yeah, right here on my set, ready for everyone.
I have one too.
I'm not near my bookshelf. I can't reach all of the books by all of my friends that they wrote. Otherwise I would.
I know.
How awesome are our friends, man? They write books.
That's over there.
Okay, wait. Now I need to get one that hasn't been shown.
Also here, American Gods was another one that we read.
Yep.
Ready Player One,
Mm-hmm.
Robin Hobb's Assassin's Apprentice, which I thought would be great because
It's okay.
honestly, it's in the top 10 fantasy books. Like,
yeah.
everyone
1984. We did 1984.
Here's one, Amy.
Love
it's beautiful. And also Sam Mags. Yay!
Oh, great.
Friends.
Amazing. Oh, that's so cool.
Love our friends. All right. Well.
Oh, hold on. I got two more here just because we're going down memory lane.
Oh, Wrinkle in Time.
Wrinkle in Time.
Let's wrinkle. Annihilation. That's right.
Let's get a wrinkle on it.
Dan Casey says, "Oh, thanks, Maud. It can be used as toilet paper at times when I get desperate." No.
Oh yeah, we have some catchphrases. I feel like the chat will remind us, but let's get our wrinkle on.
Let's get our wrinkle on.
Oh my God.
Let's get our wrinkle on.
That was book number 2. Every time we started, it's like, let's get our wrinkle on.
And my favorite is girl.
She gone,
girl.
She gone.
She gone, girl.
That was amazing.
She gone.
She gone.
Where's girl? Girl. She gone, girl.
Wait, we have so many more.
And in all the Harry Potter books, 1 through 7.
That's
true. Yeah.
If anyone can remember other catchphrases, let us know. Throwing books, obviously.
Oh, that's mine. I will absolutely take full responsibility for. If a book annoyed me, if a character just got under my skin, or if the payoff wasn't great, mark my words, that book was getting thrown into the ground.
Oh yeah, booing at Lee. Yeah, Lee is still behind the scenes from his own home.
Boo Lee.
That was me.
Why did we boo Lee?
I booed Lee because there would be Lost. I would.
Oh, cool. Great. Lost is great. Yay, Lee. Yay.
You guys would torment me about the true house that I'm in by putting Slytherin over my head. Remember that one?
I didn't do that. I know who you are, Maud. You're a Gryffindor. I know you.
You're a Slitherdor. That's what you are.
No.
And Rachel, you're a Slitherclaw. That's what you are.
Me?
Yeah, you're a Slitherclaw.
Yeah. No, I admit that.
Hector, you're a puff and stuff.
That's it. Straight Hufflepuff, baby.
Griffin
That's
puff.
it. I like wine.
Got that common room by the kitchen.
I mean, that's the thing. As an adult, I feel like I'm more of a Hufflepuff than I realized because I love snacks. I miss giving people hugs. I like to support my friends. I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat sometimes. Is that a thing?
That's pretty good. Yeah.
You are fiercely loyal.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Everyone has elements of everything. I wish there'd been one good Slytherin because it just feels like.
Yeah.
And
didn't they make Merlin a Slytherin for that exact reason?
Yeah, but we don't know.
Fact checked me on that one because I could be.
But I think like someone modern who isn't. I don't know. It just feels
all right. Well, we should do it right now. Who is the modern day Slytherin where it's like they are belonging in the house?
Tony Stark. Tony Stark. Fictional character Tony Stark.
There you go. Great.
Ends up saving the world. But Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
Captain America's a Hufflepuff.
I would say Gryffindor.
Or Gryffindor.
Yeah, either. Maybe. Okay. Yeah.
Bruce
Thor's
Banner.
a Gryffindor. Thor's a Gryffindor.
Thor's a
for
Gryffindor.
sure.
Yeah. Bruce Banner, Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw.
See,
Yeah.
we figured it out.
Scarlet Witch is a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, I would say
Natasha
No.
Romanoff. Black
Mhm.
Widow is a
Slytherin.
gets the job done.
Secretly a Gryffindor.
That's
Anyway.
what I think. Are you gonna do your Al Pacino or Robert De Niro?
Guys, that was we got a fact checker, Miss Necromancer. So great to have you back in the chat as well. She says you're right, Maud. Merlin is Slytherin. I could have just said Merlin is Slytherin, but I really needed to read out that I was right.
Right.
That's why I'm Slytherin.
What? Let us know in the chat. What house are you? If you know. If not,
Or are you simply House Maud? Hear me pour.
yeah.
Are you
I forget my
House Hector?
tale as old as wine.
There you go. Are you House Rachel? Tale as old as wine?
I think mine was House Hector. Turned down for what?
No, wasn't it? Waza?
Oh God.
Yep. That's right.
You kept doing that.
That's right. I should have done it today.
Oh my God.
No.
Steven. Steven says, Maud, if you weren't a Slytherin, the graphic wouldn't have shown up.
They're putting a graphic on you right now.
Choice
Snakes.
They are.
Words. I have just said choice words, Stephen.
Choice words. Choice words.
Steven. So we're at home. Obviously, everyone, you should be at home. I hope that everyone is at home. If you do have to work, I hope that you are staying safe. We are publishing as much on Nerdist as we can to keep people entertained, distracted, but also informed. There are, resources for making your own masks and stuff like that. So it's a very scary time, but it is a good time to drink wine, be inside. I never thought I would go stir crazy just being inside all the time.
Oh, are you also? Because I am. Are you home alone?
But you're always like out and about and doing stuff, I feel like. And
No, I'm just working 16-hour days.
Yeah.
At home.
I know. Take care of yourself.
Hey,
But-
can I make a request for Nerdist? I think I might actually, I'm going to do this on camera. Now that means I'm going to have to do it. But I might want to write a guest article.
I told
for
you anytime.
because a thing that's been really frustrating me is that a lot of people staying home, they're like, we're going to watch the MCU. We're going to do it in chronological order. And then they do it in the wrong order. And it's making me go
save these people.
I gotta write an article to explain why you can't start with Captain America, the first Avenger. That's wrong. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do one. Because
you need to save these people.
Is it because
it's because of where every movie ends. It's because of where the movie ends.
Right.
That's basically the summary.
That makes
sense. Dan Casey says, do it, Hector.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
We dare you.
Mm-hmm.
We dare you to do it.
Just like Mary Shelley was dared to write a book. Well, guess what? I'm just going to create a genre.
Okay. I like this Hector. He's fun.
I know. I've been telling Hector for years now, like, anytime, write something.
How dare you guys? You changed my lower third to Slytherin. Look how red my face just got. Oh.
Yeah. And who wouldn't really mind at all would be a Gryffindor, but Slytherins would be pissed about it.
No, they would be celebrating it. A Gryffindor would be so upset that, hello, not in Slytherin. Like, that's what I've been trying to do, but you guys keep putting me in there. If I really was a Slytherin, I would accept my fate. Oh, guys.
Gryffindors are chill.
I love that Nerdist have found like new ways.
I know. We're like things are going amazingly so far, but it's so funny that we're like all in our homes, like Skyping in, all this kind of stuff, and they still are trolling you. Well done.
Yay! Onyx 2Gs is reading Dresden Files. What I'm reading as well at the moment. Sorry, I'm such a big fan of that. For those that don't know, when we did our ABC Alpha Book Club run, we actually stopped the month we were supposed to cover the first Dresden Files book, which is something that Rachel and I had been advocating because Rachel had read it a long time ago and I had been reading it at that particular time. So, if you are reading it, you know how great it is. If you're not and you want the best audio book out there, narrated by James Masters, who is Spike from Buffy, that will
and
actually...
Piccolo from Dragon Ball Evolution.
Get out.
And doesn't he? Someone on the Flash brain, some Mr. Mind brain. I don't know.
I have to look that up, but he's definitely in the movie Dragon Ball Evolution. Someone. I think you're thinking of David the Smolchin.
Andrea Gilly, did you do the Sorting Hat on Pottermore? Yes, I have. I've created 4 separate accounts and
Slytherin each time.
No. Gryffindor. In 2016, they effed with the algorithm because I think that they weren't selling enough Slytherin merchandise. So they needed more people in the Slytherin house.
What a conspiracy.
So
where's your conspiracy board?
Well, I mean, I burst into tears.
Pepe Silva.
Guys, I cried so hard that someone at work thought that a family member had passed away. Because I was, the crying where you're like, yeah, I had that when I had, but I've done Pottermore since. I signed up with a new account. What do you know? I actually did it the other day, like day 3 of quarantine. I was like, I'm due to do this again. I'm Gryffindor.
I just took a bunch of personality tests.
I saw you post something about the INF.
I was like, I'm going to take it again. I'm always INFP.
ENFP.
Yep. Makes a lot of sense. Dan said he's reading The Dark Tower. Which book?
Yeah.
I was going to ask, is that the entire series he finished? Because he said he just finished The Dark Tower on audiobook.
No.
He's about to finish
Altered Carbon.
He's about to finish Altered Carbon, but so you're because we did the Gunslinger and I did not like it.
No.
So dry. But I've heard
no substance.
The trick is you got to watch the
No, I did that.
No.
I did that.
Yeah.
Game Wizard 001, who was an ABC, now in Geek Bomb Book Club, his name's Aaron, says that Bartimaeus Trilogy, Book 1, The Amulet of Samarkand.
That sounds fantasy.
Has been trying to convince me to read it, and eventually I will, because there is a classic YouTube video about an uncle trying to change his nephew's diaper, or nappy as we call them, and he has a retch fest for 3 minutes, and it's probably the funniest video that I've
Wait,
seen.
what is?
But the nephew calls the uncle Barty, what's wrong, Barty? So anytime I hear Bartimaeus, I just think of Barty and
not Barty Crouch.
No, but I watched them again because again, the first thing that I did in lockdown was do the Pottermore quiz, and I watched all of Harry Potter, and it's David Tennant doing this.
Oh yeah, I hate it.
I'm like, all right, bud. I know that you needed a trait to like identify and tie between that it wasn't really that person, but
it was a lot. I will say that the thing about Slytherin that made me laugh, I just rewatched them as well. And then the last one, when Professor McGonagall, like when they're storming the castle and figure everything out, McGonagall's like, all Slytherins into the dungeon, and I was like, there's not one.
Yes, I thought that too.
That's like, I want to be friends with you guys.
No, because their parents are the ones fighting on the other side.
All of them.
I know there wasn't enough shades of grey. I get it. You know, they were like, all Slytherins are bad, and you're like, that is 25% of your school.
Yeah,
that's a badly run school.
Dan is reading book 1, so that's the Gunslinger. It's too slow.
Okay, well,
100% agreed.
Put it at 1.5 speed, brother. I don't know what to tell you. Slow throughout.
Also, Knox Gunn says, "Hey, B Comp." So there you go, bud. That's kind of cool. You get your own little shout out.
There's some more people reading some stuff. BC Space J is reading A Darker Shade of Magic. That's cool. Darbu is reading Dresden Files reread on book 6. People love that.
It's so good. I think you'll really like it, Hector.
Yeah, honestly. You love it. Yeah.
Bradley Easton is reading The Conjuring of Light, and it's an amazing trilogy. Becky Miller is reading the Wheel of Time series after hearing about it on Half Hour Happy Hour Ladies Night. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yay.
Yes, because Allison was like up to book 4, but I was trudging through the first book, guys. That first book was a slog.
Wheel of Time?
I was reading it again. So this was like the first book pretty much this year, last year, that I tried to read through it. It was tough, but the audiobook was just not okay.
William Cat says, "Hello from Malaysia. I'm currently reading Seneca's Letters from a Stoic at the moment, and we'll read This Side of Paradise by F. Scott Fitzgerald next."
Scott Fitzgerald's wife's name is
Zelda.
10 points to Huffleclaw.
Cool. I almost read that as Seneca's Letters from a Stoic. automated teller machine, because that's what I
at the moment.
yeah.
At the moment.
Cool.
I love Epcot's Fitzgerald. Oh, Jordy's reading lots of Stephen King lately. Which ones? We did The Shining.
Oh, I'm glad I read it.
Me too.
Like, that was really cool. And
Is that
I remember
here's another one. Which one's better, the movie or the book? The Shining. I think you can make
They're
a case
so
for either.
different. They're
I think
so
you can make a
different.
case for either. Yeah.
I do too. They're both great. They both offer something superb. Yeah.
I haven't read it yet. I would be down to, but I watched Dr. Sleep and I thought it was amazing.
I loved, not just because my husband's in it, but I love Dr. and my wife. My wife, but no, I've wanted to read that one. That would be a fun one to do for book club. Yeah. That's the thing that I'm most excited about, because I'm always reading the same type of stories, something that Dan Casey would call sad dead girl mysteries, which is very accurate. I love twisty mysteries, similar to Gone Girl, but all different, or the Dublin Murder Squad's a really good series. But it gets me out of that zone, because I just read within the past week 3 books by the same author, and they're all that genre. And if you go through my Goodreads history, it's after Alpha Book Club went on a very long hiatus and returned this way. It's been all of that, or like some horror, more like supernatural horror, but mostly the same genre. So although I guess Dr. Sleep would count as that, but I just feel like we and the rest of the club, the rest of the book club, get to experience books that we might never read otherwise.
Yeah, I love that. I do, because it's like, obviously every TV show and movie, it is influenced in a different genre. So just because you don't read about it doesn't mean you don't consume it. So it's great to kind of see, the written form of it all. Adam Tulos, who is in the chat as well. Hey, Adam, getting through Throne of Glass because of me. Cool. I am currently reading forever. I'm rereading the Throne of Glass series because I just these times are strange, and I am going back to familiar things to read and listen to and watch that I know I will enjoy, but it's been enough time that I've forgotten what it was, and I can re-enjoy it as if it was for the first time, but knowing that it's not a risk, that I will enjoy it. So Adam, I hope you're enjoying it, but I like it because I am a woman and it has a strong female protagonist who is just like super feisty. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that, even though you're getting through it. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, that's always my thing too, and I bet it's similar, like you're saying. I mean, the first book we read, Haunting of Hill House, where we immediately knew who we were in the characters.
That was so great as well. And it was like 3, 2, 1, who are you? And you both said Eleanor, and I was, what's the other one's name?
I forget her name. I have it somewhere.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. But you saying you read like feisty heroines, and I feel like mine, not to say this is me, but like it's usually like someone with a complicated past trying to like solve something, which is very much in my like mental headspace. But yeah, and then Echo Faith says Rachel has the best Goodreads. Thank you.
Oh, that's sweet.
Follow me. Really, send me recommendations. Feedback. And Aaron also says, I'm putting this on my Goodreads immediately after this. Everyone should read Ninth House, Yale with secret societies, but they're all magic, but also very dark.
Do you guys remember that Buffy episode where they had to make sacrifices in like the frat house and like downstairs deep in the dungeons, they were actually running this cult?
Yeah.
That just reminded me of that.
Yep. I know. I've been resisting my Buffy rewatch because then that's all I'm going to watch.
Do it.
I know. All I have is time.
Nate says, say hi to Lauren. Hi, Lauren. Hi.
Hi,
Good
Lauren.
to see you.
We also have an update on the poll of what book we are going to be reading for this month. The Hobbit is at a whopping 45%. Next is Frankenstein on 29.6%. And then A Princess of Mars on 25.4%. Guys, if you really love your book and you want someone to back it, retweet it.
Friends.
That's it. Retweet it. Put it out there in the Twitterverse. Get these votes happening.
Get this circulating.
I tried yesterday.
I want to see like a 10-point shift.
You know? I want to see the underdog take it.
I'm kind of like,
it's not impossible.
It's
for
not.
a good hour and a half yesterday, Princess of Mars was only 10%. It was like at 32 and Hobbit was like at 42. Like that was the
It was
close.
getting
Yeah.
there. Well,
And it
I've
was
seen
second
you
place.
tweeting. You've been pushing it.
I'm doing the
I'm
math. I'm
surprised
crunching
that
the numbers.
Frankenstein is second, actually. I mean, I guess it's more
pitch.
recognizable, but I was worried that because it is a school book and we learned that sometimes school books are no fun to do for a book club.
Sorry, 1984, that was me.
That was in like early 2017 too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that was like right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, just to give context, early 2017, reading about dystopian futures, felt very real. It feels extra real now.
But Rachel, I feel like I could make an argument for so many pieces of literature or movies or, things that are out there that you only need to consume once because it's really hard to digest, because it's really uncomfortable, but the message is so important. There's actually a movie on Netflix at the moment. It's a Spanish film called Platform, where it's grotesque and awful. And I studied the backs of my hands watching this film. But it's basically about, there's a prison and you think there's about 200 levels. And at the level 1, a food platform will drop down with the most decadent, amazing, drool-worthy food. And you get a limited amount of time, but the platform with that same food will continue to go down. So obviously by level 100, it's just disgusting mess.
Ew.
Gross. But it shows that, this classism.
Class system,
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so it's such a great message, and it's super important to watch now, but there's also themes of isolation, starvation, and cannibalism that may be incredibly difficult to watch right now. But I mean, that's just one example of so many books like this. 1984 was, we can have our freedom removed from us. We can have everything that we do monitored, studied,
also monetized.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing, is I think that one was tough because it's just really about the mindset of us too, and the chat. So I would not necessarily recommend something about isolation right now, because I would be worried just for my own mental health.
We shouldn't read I Am Legend. We should not read I Am Legend.
But I do agree that those are important, and I love a dark book, and but I'm really glad we put Frankenstein forward, because I think that it gets people associated with the movies, which are great. I love the Universal monsters, and I Frankenstein. No, it's bad, but I had a great time watching it.
We are talking about books a lot, and we're also talking about movies and a bunch of different genres out there at the moment. But a big discussion that we've had previously, and Hector, because you were also the host of the Comic Book Club, a big conversation that we want to get into, the fact that comic books and books are obviously very different. Comic books are filled with pictures with mild dialogue, and books are no pictures and all words. I have a very strong stance. Hector, you have a very strong stance on this. I want to know from you, do you believe that comic books count as books? Because I do not.
Right. I'll try to answer it like Jeff Foxworthy. If you go to goodreads.com and look up a comic and it's on there, you might be reading a book.
I understand that you are reading parts of it, but I find that it's almost like it's a visual telling of. It's almost more movie.
Well, let me tell you this. Let me say this.
Showing you.
When you pick up that copy of The Princess Bride on that back shelf there, and there's pictures in it, is that no longer a book? What's the ratio of book to words here we're talking?
Well, the ratio of that book is about 3 pictures to about 30,000 words. In a comic book, it is a visual telling of a situation. And I guess for me, when I'm my imagination, unlike Rachel's, I mean, you have a good imagination, but visually, mine is so
okay. No, I'm just kidding.
so full on that when they say, the red cape flooded, I'm like, got it, smell it, see it, feel it, I'm in. So when a comic book shows me and has an artist doing all the details for me, I find that it's taking that away from me. I'm like, I can do it. I can do it myself. The more words you give me, the better it is. The more you show me, the less I can think. Yes,
This
Rach.
is a hot topic in the chat. I'm going to just say, because I can't picture, I think that comics, especially graphic novels or collections that are a longer story, I would say counts. Matt Karen says, they're trolling a little bit, but Matt Karen says, can't spell comic book without book. Steven says,
I feel like a comic book is
more than audiobook.
This is really hard because like a comic book is showing you, an audiobook is still telling you. And I like the whole thing is that it's a use of imaginary, like it's a use of pictures and it's use of words. Is a picture book still a book? Yes, it is, because you're flipping page, like it's a book. And I understand that a book, is it fundamentally telling a story? And is a book a story?
So,
is a movie a story? What kind of medium is it? Like, I mean, this is a very complicated thing. I just prefer to read words. Sure. And I think, Hector, you are okay with heavily imaged stories.
Absolutely.
Where I would prefer all worded stories.
I think it's like a square.
And people are fighting me in the comments right now. And to that I say, mwah, we all win.
I think it's like it's a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square.
Yeah,
I think they're all books, but also comics are their own thing, and art form, and just like novels are, just like within the publishing world, like a book of poetry is a different thing than a narrative. It's that same sort of thing.
Subgenre, maybe.
Yeah, but I counted, and it gives me an inflated number of books that I've read on my Goodreads, where I have I'm in the 400s or something, because every comic book I read, I make sure to put it on there. But like a collection, not like a single issue. Like I do.
Okay, I'll allow that. I'll allow that.
In Barnes and Noble.
I think audiobooks definitely count. I mean, I never, even when I couldn't, for whatever reason, whatever changed, could not get into audiobooks. Just would space out. And I still do that a little bit, but something has shifted. But I would never say that doesn't count, because you're consuming a story in a similar way. It's also interesting because and this is probably again because I don't picture things in my mind, although I've been having really vivid dreams and I remember them, but I don't remember, I know that they're I don't know. I want to get hypnotized or something. Maybe it's like a whole thing. But when I'm rewatching something, or when I'm watching like Rachel Maddow, where it's not very visually, I don't need to see the visuals to enjoy it, I end up doing other things and I'm really listening, because I think that I'm just not as visual of a person in stories, even though I have to read something to, like, when I'm editing, I have to look at it. I can't hear it. It's very strange. I don't understand brains.
Yeah. Miss Necromancer made an amazing point, as always. If I can show my bias, she says, "Is a hot dog a sandwich?" That says it all. Technically, it is. Technically, there is something in the middle of bread. No. Like, it is, but it isn't. Is a book a comic?
It's not bread. It's a roll.
But it's like, you know what I mean? It's enough of a comparison have that is the same thing as a comic book, a book, or is an audiobook, a book, or, I guess it's like these rules aren't defined. It really is to your own discretion.
It's personal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think it also depends, if you're looking at specific graphic novels like Watchmen, which I haven't revisited since the new show, which would be interesting, or Mouse, which is amazing.
There's whole sections of prose in Watchmen, like in that comic.
And Mouse too has such an incredible story. I think it just depends, but I would be super down to do a more prose heavy graphic novel on this. Or if we used to do short, like we did the Martian Chronicles, which is technically a collection of short stories. It's my favorite book. It started as short stories, but was then, like many of his, published, but it does have sort of a through line of plot. But I would be super down to do that. Java Book Geek Girl, who, shout out to Java Book Geek Girl, our theological expert,
point keeper, yes.
Our points keeper. When we did Harry Potter every other month, the chat would give us points for different.
They would nominate, and it had to get seconded. Yes.
It had to get seconded. Somebody was extremely competitive about it.
I'll say, let's start over fresh And I nominate 100 points to Java Book Geek Girl.
Yeah,
I second straight away.
Wonderful. So great. She's in the lead.
She wins House Cup. But she also said, I know we had an Alpha Book Club Goodreads.
I am Java. Hear me sip.
Yeah. But we should definitely, I'll immediately after this start a Goodreads for us and share it around on Twitter so that everyone can join in. Cause I would love more Goodreads is because I forget everything if I don't write it down in some way. I have lots of notebooks with lists on them, and that's my way to remember what I've read, because sometimes I'll download a book on Libby and be like, oh, I definitely already read this.
Java Book Geek Girl says, y'all are making me blush.
No, we love you. We love all of our Alpha Book Club fans, and also everyone new who joined. We're super excited to have you here and talk about books and drink wine.
Also our community with the book club, whether it was with Nerdist and Alpha or Geek Bomb, the best communities that we have. You guys are phenomenal. If you are new, be prepared to make friends in the chat. Be prepared to have incredibly intelligent discussions. Be prepared to break down your psyche and be vulnerable. Honestly, this is like the best place to be, which is why we love doing this so much every week. There's about 2 minutes left on that poll. I have quickly given it a retweet. If everyone else wants to spread the message, casting your last minute votes. It's getting really real right now.
Oh boy.
Paul Robertson says, I'm so glad we're back. Yeah, everyone's still talking about hot dogs as well. Because that's a really great analogy, I find. And I'm not against comic books at all. I just feel like I am so extreme in one way that I just don't need someone to do the work for me, whereas I understand that comic books are so fulfilling and so great for other people. Mary who's in the chat as well says book people are the best people. True. I think that people that really love to discuss books and that love to have an intelligent conversation or just love to get lost in literature, you're right, like amazing, so great. But I talk about all things playing, watching and reading. I'm trying not to be biased. I love reading.
Yeah,
it's important. I light up.
We'll Hector. Oh, poor Hector. Frankenstein
I'm just gonna read it on my own. I'll just read it on my own.
Well, we might get to it, but we talked about this a little bit, but when I was growing up, I started reading I was a very surprised, shy kid, and I got bookstore gift cards from like my relatives for every holiday at my elementary school, middle school, high school, and college, like graduations. Someone said something about me being like nose in a book, ignoring other people. It was my like escape from the world and made me want to get into writing, which got me into my job, which I met all of you and everyone behind the scenes who's back there and all of my amazing Nerdist colleagues and everywhere else. And now the book club people. And I just, not to get sappy because I do cry on the show, but I am so happy that this is back. It like saved me the first year that we did it. It honestly saved me. And, we all talk still, but there's nothing like seeing your faces every week. So I just
add to that? Miss Necromancer has dropped, like we're getting truth bombs and we're getting real feels in the chat, which I love. She says, this is scratching my itch. I'm a bookseller and laid off because of Corona. So I miss talking about books with customers, but like, honestly, we were a family for so long and we're so excited to let you all in. I'm so grateful that it's public so we can just cast this net even wider. The poll has been closed though, guys. The 2 minutes has been up.
No.
Yes, there was a little bit of a shift. Hobbit went down from 45% to 44.9%. So it is our winner for this month.
I am excited though. I haven't read it since I was like 12, I think.
I don't think I've read it at all, guys. I've only just watched the books. So hold on. What's the difference between the cover of yours and the cover of mine? And which one's worse?
That's the first movie, right?
Correct. An Unexpected Journey. Yours is Battle of Five Armies. And this This is the copy of the book that my awesome roommate Keller was like insisting that I read instead because it's gorgeous. It's really nice. But I'm going to read my crappy little movie paperback. I can't wait.
Actually, Darbu in the comments makes a great point. What is their collective noun? What are they called? Are they called bookies? Are they what do we call the chat?
We're gonna have. Why don't we source some ideas for next week? Because I don't think we have a term, do we?
No, we don't have a term yet.
Y'all need to recruit more people to join. B, come up with a name for yourselves. David Nichols Jr. I'm gonna eat so many snacks in the first 100 pages. Fair, super fair. Hobbits know how to live. They know how to live. Also, we won't. If you haven't read it before, maybe we'll wait till the last episode. But we are gonna watch. Your homework is going to be to watch the animated Hobbit at some point because it's so good and so scary.
And also, you know what? I'll add some other homework on there. If you haven't seen the live action movies, and if you want to wait until we're done, you'll do
a watch along?
Yeah. No, because I'm gonna watch the first one. I have all three of them in 3D. And I'm going to watch the first Hobbit movie. I just saw Rachel's eyes roll so hard.
That was so involuntary. I
believe it. But I'm going to watch the first Hobbit movie and then read this first section and do it that way. I will say that the music, no matter what you think about the movies, the music is by Howard Shore. Music is great. It's nice if you're not doing audiobooks to put that on while you're reading it to help you get into it. But I would love to have a convo if you guys are up for it. I'm gonna
rewatch the trilogy. Okay. I have nothing but time.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Guys, also that discussion is going to be happening in a reading section of a Discord as well. If you want to continue it throughout the week and have your opinions, but just so you guys know, we are going to be reading up to chapter 7. So stop at the end of chapter 6, read 6 chapters of The Hobbit, and we will be back this time next week, 5 p.m. PST, so that we can continue this journey and talk about the first moments of The Hobbit. Did we like it? Was the setup great? Were the characters believable? We are reading this book, guys. And to the person who said I was competitive in the comments, I won.
Oh my gosh. Look what you did. Look what you all did. You've created a monster.
When they said that, I was like, I didn't even choose it. This is chosen for me.
We wanted to make sure that people could get it. We'll, through the Twitter and everything, we'll send info about where you can find it. I know that it's on Kindle Unlimited, which is a really good deal if you like ebooks. They also have the Kindle and Audible where you could read and then keep your place and then listen to the audiobook at the same place, which is a game changer.
Cool.
Awesome. This is so fun. Thank you everyone for joining us. Maud, where can people watch you right now? I know you got a new thing going.
I do, guys. I've just had a new show launch on Quibi. So if you've downloaded the app, check out Fresh Daily. It's where I will talk about all the things there are to watch in the world in streaming, movies, TV, you name it. And every day I'll give you the best recommendations. I'm watching so many shows and movies. So I'm your girl during that one. This is my savior, so I can read as well. By the way, Power Up, which is a new show on Geek Bomb, is Friday night at 4 p.m. if you want to jump on live for that on Trisha Hirschberger's Twitch. But it's available on Geek Bomb as well because I'm the busiest I've ever been.
Yay! Take a nap, my love.
I'd love
to. I really love hearing you say Rotten Tomatoes on the show. Hector, where can everyone watch you?
You can see me on DC Daily. We're doing DC Daily from home, which is really cool and exciting. We get to interview people. We get to talk about the DC stuff that we love, which has been great. And then just follow me on Twitter, I guess, at Hector is Funny. And, maybe there'll be an interview or an article that I wrote about the correct order of the MCU
Definitely.
Coming soon.
Yeah. And then for me, just read and watch Nerdist. That's it. I'll just be here. Thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to read The Hobbit with you. Thank you for joining our book club. We'll see you next week.
Mwah.
Bye.
We need a closure. Like we need a zing